Happy Sunday. I feel moved to share this on this 23rd day of this 7th month in the year 2023 at 3:16. God be with me. I saw the news from Philadelphia. I want to extend my sincerest condolences to the family of Gilly and Wallow, losing a young man. I also want to send my condolences to the families of the other two who were shot, who survived. When I saw this news just yesterday, I thought about William Cosby, Bill Cosby, because he lost a son to gun violence, and he's also a Philadelphian who I've seen in Philadelphia on the street. Gilly the Kid, I done seen out there on South Street. Never talked, never introduced myself, never asked for an autograph. I remember when Gilly used to come to Wilmington, to Concord Ave, to One Stop, to Battle Rap. When I was 16 and Meek was 16, Meek Mill, he would come down. Gilly was probably in his 20s. He ain't that much older than us. We're in our 30s now, and 40s and 50s maybe, I don't know. But when Bill Cosby was our age, he lost his son who was in his early 20s, who was about to finish grad school, I believe. Studied special education because he wasn't diagnosed with dyslexia, but he overcame his learning disability. So I want to dispel some myths, debunk some untruths that have been pestering, that have been really unknown to us. We don't know that they're not true. See, I grew up thinking that Bill Cosby didn't care for people that look like us all the time because his son got killed by gunfire by people that look like us. But it was a Ukrainian immigrant that killed Bill Cosby's son, Ennis. And he was charged, convicted, still in jail for murdering Bill Cosby's son, who didn't put up much of a fight, didn't have a weapon. He was being robbed, and he didn't give up the money fast enough. And he is no more. I don't know the details of what happened with Gilly's son, but I don't need to know. I learned the news from Fat Joe on Instagram Live. Fat Joe, Joe. Jealous one's envy. I remember that. My name is DMarqueHall. This is Ennis Cosby and the animal who murdered him, the one from Ukraine. This video edit of the Southern Delaware Alliance for Racial Justice July Town Hall panel discussion on disabilities in the Black community is dedicated to Ennis Cosby.
People are disabled by barriers in society, such as their attitudinal or a physical barrier or ableism, and not necessarily their impairment or differences that they may have. So that's where accommodations come into play.
And then I have one last question for your group, and then I have one for Shannon and one for Devon. And actually, this one's from me. So when you're talking about voting rights can only be revoked by a judge's order, how is that so many people who are imprisoned are denied voting rights? Because I don't hear about, massive move to make sure that people who are in prison get their opportunity to have their voices heard. Or do I misunderstand?
And I know very well this issue. They do have the right to vote in most circumstances. If they're in detention because they've been convicted, it depends on the crime. There are certain felonies for which people will never regain their right to vote, but that's not the case. People who are in jail who have not committed a felony that's not like rape, murder, or bribery of a public official, or the three main categories, they do have the right to vote. The problem is with the Department of Corrections not informing a prisoner. Like when they do the intake, they're not telling people who are going to be incarcerated that they still have the right to vote. They don't make the registration.
And just, what's the word that we use for voter suppression?
Suppression.
People that are justice impacted in Delaware have the right to vote. People that have felony convictions have the right to vote. Part of SB 180, Senator Kyle Evans-Gay's bill that I lifted up earlier, is taking away that exception for murder, rape, and committing a crime in public office, so that even those people will be allowed to vote. Because when there is when there's a separation, when some people can't and some people can, people just believe that they can't, so they don't try. They're not going to get registered because historically people with felony convictions couldn't vote. But since 2016 in Delaware, people with felony convictions, people that might have accepted a stolen vehicle, maybe they got into a car that wasn't theirs, maybe they sold drugs, whatever it was, they have the right to vote. So we just got to let them know. And there hasn't been a bill that has a fiscal note that would put billboards out there. There hasn't been a bill that, or even these organizations, Classy, I'm not sure exactly what you guys feel about this, but I think that it would be great if there was some funding that was used to make some ads out on the DART buses, make some ads on the stops, put some commercials on DETV. If people knew, because so many people don't know, they might vote. But
to general elections and assist the majority of people there to cast a vote, to educate them about their right to vote, to talk with them about how to exercise the right to vote, to assist them in registering, and to help them cast an absentee ballot. And
Great.
So we continue to do that. And it's a small step forward, but I think it's an important one because they will hopefully go out and educate others as well about their experience with voting.
Glad to be here to give you this book for your wife.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
To God be the glory. Keep up the good fight in Jesus' name.
We sure will. Thank you.
God bless you.